Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Bad Drinks TV. I'm your host, H, and we're going to go into one of my favorite drinks during winter. Now, I live in Toronto and, well, it's now December and it's f***ing freezing. And I mean, Jesus, is it cold. But one of my favorite drinks to have when it's winter is the Sazerac. Now, I love to have a Sazerac in my woolly socks, my Star Wars pajamas or gym jams, whichever you want to call them, and also usually nice fireplace. However, unfortunately, I don't have a fireplace, but I do have a TV with the burning log. But it works pretty close. Anyway, I love it, and I really love it, and I really want you to get into enjoying making one as well. But a few things first is we're going to go through some books, because I love books. So we've got to start with Famous New Orleans and How to Mix Them by Mr. Glisby Arthur. Then we have, of course, Imbibe by David Wondrich. Good little read on this one. I would really advise getting this one. And of course, finally, by Mr. King of Cocktails himself, Mr. Dale DeGroff, The Craft of the Cocktail. These are really, really good. This guy actually is one of the reasons why we even have a phenomenal cocktail scene now, especially in North America. So, good little read. Then we're going to do products, my favorite section. Right, so, depending on how much you want to spend, okay, if you ain't got much and you want to do a party and sharing with people, then I would suggest a good simple French brandy, and for me, the Lot 40 Canadian Rye. Great price points. For me, that's around 80 bucks. Pretty much of a good bargain. You can make up to almost 26 drinks with that. Spend a little bit more. My view is don't go out too much, but I would probably get this. Try and get a nice good cognac. This is a Martell VS, but any VS will do as long as it's a cognac, even though I do feel like because it's from cognac they tend to add a couple of zeros to the cost of the bottle, but still good. And a good American straight rye. This is Rittenhouse. I think it's a wonderful price point. Now, if you want to go a little bonkers, like I do at the winter time, because it's winter and it's me, I want to stay inside and, you know, be in my pajamas, okay? So here we go. I went and got, and as you can see, I've already had some already. I love Hein. This is their rare VSOP. I like Hein because it's quite dry, which I prefer in my cognacs. And of course, a Michter's small batch rye, American rye. This is lovely, it's a great mix, and we'll be doing that a bit later, okay? Then we're going to have some bitters. The rather essential for almost all Sazeracs is the Peychaud, which we will come into contact with later on. Angostura bitters. You can also get these Creole bitters, and there's also Peychauds which have been barrel aged. And then we go to one of the key, most important ingredients of all, which I find pretty essential when it comes to a Sazerac, and that's absinthe. Okay, so here we have the Canadian one, French style. This is French, and then we have a Swiss. Now, I prefer Swiss personally, but if I was you, not easy to get a hold of, you'd have to probably go outside the country to get a bottle. Now, a little thing about absinthe. It is not a hallucinogen. For God, you will not see green fairies, okay? Maybe if you drunk about 2 or 3 bottles to the point of where you're going to die because it's got a lot of alcohol in it, then yes, you might do. But most people in the past, quite a few, used to mix opiates, so basically heroin with high alcohol. You do that mix, trust me, you're going to see fairies of all colours of the rainbow, okay? You're not. There's more f***ing hallucinogen in the sage and onion stuffing sausage. I mean, come on, all right? So please, don't worry about it, but just spend a bit of money and get a good bottle of absinthe. It's so worth it, okay? Next up, equipment. So now some notes on glassware and equipment. Now, a Sazerac, please do it justice. Now spend a little bit of money. These are lovely little Japanese glasses. I think they're perfect. They're about between 15 and 20 bucks. This is a little bit more. You're looking at about 40, 50 bucks for a glass here. And then you got the obsessive, stupid, compulsive mother that I am, and I went a little nuts. These are cut crystal and Czech, and they cost about $400. So depends how far you want to go. Maybe less cocaine for a couple of months, you might be able to afford one. Okay. And then, of course, this lovely little shot glass. Now, this will become apparent when we do the third and final Sazerac, but I think this is lovely. This is actually a sake glass, but I think it just works so well. See? Look at that. Great pairing. Okay, now we're going to do equipment, right? So you're going to need the following things. A mixing tin, a julep strainer, or a strainer, or a mixing glass and strainer as well. Okay. A vaporizer is rather useful, or a dasher bottle. Some jiggers, as you know my importance of using jiggers. A peeler. And a bar spoon. Oh, also, little side note, especially when it comes to equipment. The reason why I'm wearing a black glove is basically because I had a little bit of a fight with my kitchen knife and I lost. So I've got a bit of a bad cut. So just be a bit careful when you're using some equipment, okay? And of course, most importantly of all, as always, lots and lots of ice, okay? Right then, so now let's start making some drinks straight away and talking about the Sazerac. Now, when I was first taught about the Sazerac, that it was called the Sazerac because it's named after a particular type of cognac, which is called Sazerac Laforge de Fil. Now, that's also because in the 1850s, there was a very famous bar called the Sazerac Coffee House, and everybody assumed, and even I assumed, that it was a cognac-based drink. Now, I do love a cognac Sazerac, so I'm going to make one quickly now. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a nice little cognac here, which I'm going to thoroughly enjoy. I'm actually just going to cut this off with my knife that made my life a living hell. And here we go. Right, so here we go. All right. I'm going to add 2 ounces of cognac. Gotta love cognac. All right. And some sugar. Almost forgot about that one. Now, I use a 2-to-1 rich ratio, and don't use too much. Okay, you don't need much. That's why I like using a Japanese bar spoon, because I want just under a teaspoon. So between 4 or 4.5 mils of sugar is all you need. Okay, you only need a small amount. Okay, that's it. That's enough. Don't need much. And then some Peychaud's bitters. Now, supposedly the story goes that Antoine Peychaud, his family had to leave the Caribbean island they were on because there was a slave uprising, because his family were plantation owners. So yeah, get the mother out of there, because, well, yeah, people wanted their freedom. And he ended up going into New Orleans and became a pharmacist or apothecarist. And he was getting rather good, started manufacturing his product and selling it, especially between 1830 and 1857. And he started advertising in 1857 that his drink was being made in the Sazerac house as well. He's also the rumor of the guy that supposedly was serving his mix of Peychaud's with cognac, allegedly, a possibility of bitter sugar in basically an eggshell or a cockatiel, as it were. And it's also where the expression of cocktail comes from, allegedly. It's not written in stone, all right? And then add ice. Okay. And there we go. Right. Now stir. Okay. So what I do is get it, and this is where a vaporizer becomes really useful. All right, because for me in my bar, I have to do these drinks quite quickly. So spray. Really give a good coating. All right, and get some absinthe. I'm not a fan of Absinthe or Pernod because I just love absinthe. I like real absinthe. Okay, I just think the flavor is a lot better. All right, So there we go. Give it a good spray, give it a good soaking. Then strain. As you can. Get your peel. Now, almost everybody I know all agrees on this one. Do not drop the garnish in, just spray the oil in. Remember, no f***ing rim jobs, please. Okay, thank you. And then, oh, this is gonna be rather lovely. Wow. Oh, that is so good. All right, gonna do another one in a minute.